to be educated, but I'm so frustrated.
What is funkin' on the one? James Brown says funkin' on the one. Boots has said it was the one and only the one to make the funk. It's gotta be on the one. They're talking about funkin' on the one. Funkin' on the freaking one. You know what that is? You gotta hit it hard on the one, man. What is funkin' on the one? Hey man, say man, we about to get into a story that y'all been waiting for a long time. I finally get a chance to get to it, so you make sure you check it out. Hey, on the channel, I want to tell the members that I appreciate you guys and the guys that are subscribing to the channel, and I couldn't do it without you. Hang around to the bottom, let's get into it.
You give me the one, all that stuff is good. Yeah. You know, and that's what I started doing. But that's where I got that from.
Yeah.
You know, James Brown was the one that told me, son, you need to give me the one. You know? And I don't even think he knew what he was talking about when he's, you know, I know he knew what he meant, but he didn't know the power of that.
So yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into this, because this right here might shake a few people up just a little bit. If you've been around funk music for any amount of time, you've heard it over and over again, almost like it's gospel. Funk is all about playing on the one. Everything comes back to the one. You gotta hit the one for it to be funk. That right there has been drilled into people like it's the golden rule. That whole idea of on the one is what makes a song or a groove funk. And the thing is, that all supposedly came from the great James Brown. But don't get it twisted. He said what he said. But did he mean what the world thinks he meant? Musically, no, he could not have. Now, first I want to say off the rip, respect to the Godfather. No question about his impact, no question about what he built, no question about the sound he brought into this world, because, man, if you watch him in action, there is no doubt he was the king of something big. But here's the real question, and I need you to stay with me on this. Do we actually understand what playing on the one means, or have we just been repeating it because it sounds good?
1, 2, 3, and you hit on the one, you know?
Because most people will tell you that funk is all about just hitting the one. That's the definition a number of people stand on. That's the explanation they run with. But when you slow it down, break it down, and really look at how music works, that explanation starts to fall apart real quick. Funk being just on the one doesn't musically make sense to music theory particularly. And I'm not coming at this from just opinion and wee bits of theory alone. I'm coming at this from how rhythm actually functions. See, the one is not something special and that only exists in funk. The one, the first beat of a measure, is built into the structure of all music itself. The one comes in every type of music, no matter what the time signature is. Not to get too deep into the technicalities, but the time signature is a fraction if you have the song written in sheet music. The top number indicates how many beats there are in each bar or measure of music, and the bottom number tells us what type of beat we are going to be counting. So, if the bottom number is the number 4, then we count in quarter notes. If the bottom number is an 8, then we count in eighth notes. Besides that, each measure starts with the first beat, the so-called 1. 4/4 time is the foundation of most of the music you've ever heard, and that first beat, or that one beat, is always there, whether you like it or not. Jazz music has it, classical music has it, rock music has it, gospel has it. Heck, marching band music has it, and they hit the one harder than anybody walking the planet. So now you might start seeing the problem we have with the on the one concept. If the one exists everywhere, then how can it be the only thing that defines funk? And don't let that slide past you, because what I have said shuts the whole argument down if you really sit with it. Now, some people will say, well, it's not just the one, it's the emphasis on the one. Okay, cool. But let's test that. You say hitting the one hardest makes it funky. Does it? If I give you a straight drum pattern, kick on 1, snare on 2 and 4, everything clean, everything lined up, and I hit that one hard every single time, what do you get? You get something you hear in most all songs, something stiff, predictable. You might get something you can march to, but you are not getting funk that makes you make that funk face. Not even a little bit. Now take that same tempo, don't change the one at all, leave it exactly where it is, but now start placing notes around it. You see what happens when you vary the kick, let the snare drag just behind it, add ghost notes in between, let the hi-hat talk in eighth notes, even add a little fatback? And yeah, bruh, I cheated a little bit. That's the late Clyde Stubblefield, the famous drummer with James Brown. And keeping it real, he would honestly tell you that the funk came after the one, but the paycheck said it came only on the one. But now, all of a sudden, your body starts moving different. Same first beat of the measure heard, the one, but whole different feel. That's when it becomes funky. And that was just the drums only. So now we're not dealing with opinion anymore, we're dealing with proof you can hear. Confused? Mad? Well, don't be, because this brings us to what's really going on. Funk is mostly about syncopation in a pocket, space where you get room to insert your lick while not getting in the way of all the other sounds. Now, syncopation is a disturbance or interruption of the regular flow of rhythm, a placement of rhythmic stresses or accents where they wouldn't normally occur. It is the correlation of at least two sets of time intervals. Funk is living in the spaces. Is living in the and between the beats, is living in those 16th note pockets most people don't even count. It's in the ghost notes you barely hear, but you feel all through your chest. It's in that push and pull, even in the slightest of anticipation, that little delay that makes the groove lean to the side instead of walk straight. You don't nod your head to one beat or the first beat of a measure. You nod to a pocket, a music bed working like a machine. You move because of what happens between the beats, or doesn't happen because funk is also about space and each slot that is filled or not filled in the groove. Musicians or instruments playing and not getting in the way of each other. That's what a funk is, part of the rhythm. Now let's take it back to the source for a second, because this is where people get sensitive. When James Brown was talking about on the one, it is obvious he wasn't sitting there breaking down theory, subdivisions, or rhythmic displacement. That wasn't his lane, and you know this. Nah, he wasn't no Mozart, nor even a great producer like a Quincy Jones. He was a feel-it genius. He was reacting to what made his body move, what made the band hit him a certain way. And a lot of times, the greatest artists don't explain or can't explain what they're doing technically. They can only express what they feel. Then later people come behind them and try to turn that feeling into rules, and that's where things get twisted. Because what James gave the world was a trigger, not a full breakdown. He was pointing to that reset point in the groove, that moment where everything comes back together. But what made his music funky was never just that point. It was everything happening after it. I mean, if a song just had one beat and nothing else, how big of a song is that going to be? So if you understand so far, you need more than just the one. You need at least the quarter notes, the and beats, 16ths, or even 30 seconds that come after the one in the measure, and we can prove it with the music. So take Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine.
Get up, get on up, get up, get on up.
Now listen close. Don't just vibe to it. Listen. Man, that's Bootsy Collins on bass right there, at 18, by the way. And when you break it down in pieces, it is clear that bass is not just sitting on the one, it's dancing around it, sometimes ahead, sometimes behind. Same with the guitar. Yeah, and the funk ran in the family too, with Phelps Catfish Collins manhandling the guitar there. The guitar is scratching and chanking in the spaces, not crowding the beat, just talking in between it. Check the beat out. That was John J-Bo Starks in the studio that time. The drums are full of ghost notes, little quiet hits that glue everything together. That groove is not built on the one. The one is just a checkpoint. But it's that in all music, right? Everything after it, that's the conversation. Now, let's move over to Parliament with Give Up the Funk. Same thing. The foundation is there, but the magic is in the interaction. Bass, guitar, keys, horns. Yeah, they're all weaving in and out, stretching that rhythm like a rubber band. Nobody is just sitting on the one, waiting for it to matter. They're building tension between the beats. That's funk. That is what makes you make the stank face. Now let's finish up with Slave and the song Slide. This was that new funk coming in from around the corner. Pure updated funk. That bass line by Mark Adams, walking all around the beat, not just landing on one and quitting. And same with the drums, guitars, keys, horns, and vocals. Nobody is just pounding one beat and heading to the house. Where would the funk be if you just stayed stuck on the beginning of the measure or only waiting for the next measure? And don't forget the people out there trying to get their dance on. Who's pop locking with one beat? Yeah, I know. So again, we've got to ask the question. If the one is always there and the groove changes without moving it, then the one cannot be the definition of funk. It just can't. Now, I know everybody ain't thinking funk is only playing on the one, but the ones that do, y'all need to rethink a few things. So, what we've really been handed over the years is a simplified idea, something easy to repeat, a word that is easy to teach, but not something that fully explains what's happening. And there's nothing wrong with that until people start treating it and acting like it's the whole truth, because the real truth is deeper than that. Funk is not about where you land. Funk is about what you do before you land and how you make people feel on the way there. It's about how much life, how much tension, how much conversation you can create before that beat comes back around again. So, the next time you throw on a funk record, don't be silly just waiting for the one. Listen to everything that happens after it. That's where the truth is hiding, the funk's secret place, and that's where the groove lives too. But I hope you appreciate that on the Music Mindset channel. I appreciate you guys. Check back next time to see what we got going on.